friends, we are back and we are doing a 3 looks, 2 palettes with the 2 Melt Cosmetics palettes from their Beetlejuice collection, the Waiting Room and Recently Deceased palettes. So what we're going to do is a look with just using each individual palette and then one look combining the two. In case you missed my last video, I did an unboxing of the collection and just went over prices, did some swatches, and did a demo look using, I believe it was both of the palettes. I can't even remember now. Oh yeah, I used one palette on each eye. So technically, by the end of these 2 videos, you'll have 2 looks with each individual palette, 1 look using both palettes, so it's 5 total looks. Again, the Recently Deceased palette is 8 shades and retails for $48. This is what she looks like on the inside. Beautiful. And then we have the Waiting Room palette, $58. And here is what she looks like on the inside. Stunning. Okay, so the total collection launches, I forget what time, but it's Wednesday, November 25th. And so if you wanted to get individual pieces, I will try and wear the lipsticks. I know for the first look I was filming it before I went to work, so you'll notice that there's going to be a voiceover for that look. I was filming it before I went to work, so I had meetings and things, so I wore just a very neutral lipstick that time, but I did put the Ghost with the Most, that olive colored lipstick, on later in the day once my meetings are over, and I will be posting that picture to Instagram. And then I'm going to do, I think, a 3rd video with this collection, a swatch comparison video where I compare the different, like the shades in the palettes that are similar to other Melt Cosmetics eyeshadows, to see if, so you guys can make a decision on if it's something you really need to buy or not. And then I'll give my final review thoughts, although I think I'll probably end up giving my review thoughts on at least the palettes during this. Maybe I'll do all, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So anyways, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, especially if you want to see more looks with these palettes, or I have pretty much every Melt eyeshadow palette. So if you want to see looks with any of those palettes, let me know. And comment down below like what you want to see and which look you end up liking the best. And we'll just go ahead and get into it. So first we're starting off with the Recently Deceased palette. I'm going in with the shade Beetlejuice or Beetlegeist, depending on how you want to say that. And we're just blending it with some sort of BH brush. I didn't write down the brush numbers, but I know it's from the Crystal Zodiac collection because I can tell by the brush handle. And just blending. And now we're going in with the Draw a Door shade. I didn't point to it this time, but it's that darker, like mustardy, greenish yellow looking shade. And I'm taking that on a BH Cosmetics brush again. I don't know what number it is. And I'm just packing that onto the inner and outer corners and up into the crease. And I am connecting it up at the top. And now we're going back in with that first BH Cosmetics brush. It's a blending brush, and we're just blending those 2 shades together. And now we're taking the shade, I don't remember what that shade's called. It's that dark green shimmer shade. And I'm packing that on with a smaller pencil brush, but it is just a solid black brush, so I have no idea which brush it is. And I'm just packing that on the inner and outer corners. We're going to do a halo eye. This is a shimmery shade, but I am packing it on and going to blend it out so that hopefully it performs like a matte shade. And spoiler alert, it does. And blending that out with that BH Cosmetics Crystal Zodiac brush. Again, like I said, we're trying to blend away the sparkles so that shimmery shade functions like a matte. And now I'm doing the same thing on the inner corner. And I'm going over it now with the Draw a Door shade to help blend it with the deeper of the 2 greenish yellowy shades. And just connected that over the top, and now we're blending with the Crystal Zodiac BH Cosmetics brush again and just blending that all over. And I'm placing the shade Neurotic on a flat eyeshadow brush that I did wet with MAC Fix Plus, and I'm just packing that all over the center of the lid. And then we're going back in with the shade Draw Adore to blend in our darker greens with the bright metallic shimmer. Drawing some black eyeliner. I didn't do like a full wing with this because I didn't want to, you know, create a big thick wing and lose the shape. So I was just creating a dark line to thicken up my lash line. And now we're cleaning up underneath our eyes. And came back with our full face done, and we're just placing that shade, that dark green shimmer, which I honestly, for the life of me, can't remember the name of it, and we're placing that along the lower lash line. I'm using a ColourPop brush, but I don't know which ColourPop brush. Now I'm blending that out with the shade Draw Adore. We're just smudging that along the lower lash line. And now we're taking a bigger brush to smudge the shade Beetlejuice. And I'm putting the shade Neurotic in my inner corner. And this is the finished look. So now we're going to do a look with just the Waiting Room palette, and I'm going to try something new. I have this, what is it? The Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Eye Color in the shade Tuxedo. So it's a black, like cream stick shadow. And so what I want to do is do like a big wing shape with the black all over, and then I'm going to use these 3 shimmer shades on top. So we're gonna try it. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so first I'm just gonna pack this all over my lid. And I did put my, which I guess I shouldn't have said it, but whatever, I put the NARS Smudge Proof tinted eyeshadow primer all over my lids to prime my eyelids, and then set that with powder because I found that helps that primer work the best. Okay, so now I think we're at the point where I'm going to need a brush. I wonder if I should just use, I think I'm going to just try and use my cut crease brush because the shape of it is perfect for like getting up in the crease, which is what we're trying to do, but with black versus like a normal cut crease type of situation. And I'm not going to be upset if it gets a little wonky down here because that part we can clean up. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and do that on the other eye. I think that's as good as it's going to get. And this is my, oh, I never said what cut crease brush I was using. It's the Sigma Cut Crease E62 brush. That's the brush I used with that Laura Mercier. And now we're going to go in with that Morphe M224 flat shader brush. I'm actually going to spray some MAC Fix Plus to help the shimmery shades stick more. I think I'm just going to go pink red to the Dante's Inferno, even though I think it's going to show up lighter, but I don't know. And so I'm just trying to put that exactly where we have that black shade, or that black cream shadow. And doing this just gives shimmery shades or whatever, like layering over a black base just gives it a bit of a different appearance. So now we're going to go into the red shade, the shade Lydia. I'm just using the opposite side of that same brush, and I already wet that with the MAC Fix Plus. And I'm trying to blend that into that pink. So now I'm going to go back into Sod Girl, which is the first pink shade we used. And I'm going to go over where the pink and the red meet to create just like a gradient. Wipe that brush off because we're going to use it again, but for the last third of this look with the shade Dante's Inferno. Ooh, when you get this brush wet, or this shade wet, oh my gosh, it turns into this like fiery bronzy brown. Okay, I'm going to use this It Brushes for Ulta, this like angled brush in the shade Charman. I'm just trying to outline this a little bit. So this is a Sonia Kashuk small eyeshadow brush. And I'm just going to go right here and just lightly to soften that out a little bit. So now we're going to clean up. I just am taking some micellar water on a, what is this called? Makeup eraser. We're just going to clean, like just wipe up underneath and make this a sharper line at the end. Like that. Oh yeah, that helped quite a bit. I don't know what happened on the side. So I'm going to take this shade Sandworm, which is kind of lighter. Let's see if maybe I can just make this look better. Okay, there we go. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to actually... No, I think I'm just going to outline this part with black down here. So I'm not going to actually do liner, we're just going to outline that. Okay, awesome. All right, so now I'm going to go do my base makeup and then we'll come back and finish up the eyes. Okay, so I went ahead and used a combination of the Calypso lipstick and the Electrip lip paint in Strange and Unusual. I used my Raw Beauty Christie and Pure lashes in the style Lovely, and just in my normal base makeup that I'll link below. Okay, and then I put the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Swerve on my waterline, and yeah, so now we're gonna go back in with the same It brushes for Ulta and the Charman shade, that black. And I'm just gonna put this, I just want this to line up, basically. And this black is really pigmented and intense, so just, you know that. None of our shimmers are super bright, so what I'm going to do is take an inner corner brush, which I don't know where it is. Okay, I'm going to use, this is a Sonia Kashuk, I think it's like a lip brush, but I don't know. It's not labeled, but it looks like a lip brush. Okay, and I'm going to just take that and I'm going to go into that shade Sandworm, that really light gray. That is a matte, and we're just going to brighten up the inner corner a pinch with that. Alrighty, this is the finished look. I actually like how this turned out. I didn't like it in the middle. I was kind of like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go, but I actually really like how this turned out. And I'm still not a huge fan of the metallic lips, but I do think it's fun, it's different. I think I'll be happy, using these on occasion, but it's still not quite my vibe, although I don't know what lip I realistically would do with this look, because it's very, I don't know, but those shimmer shades performed really well over the black base. Okay, so next up is going to be my look that I'm refilming because I only filmed half of it the first time I did it. But anyway, and it'll be a combination of the two palettes. So this is attempt number 2 on this look using both of these palettes. The first attempt, I didn't realize, I thought my camera was on and it wasn't. And I prepped my eyelids with my Alter Ego eyeshadow primer. And then what we're going to do is first start with the Recently Deceased palette. We're going to go in with the shade Bio Exorcist. And I want to do a halo eye, but I want to keep it really small. What did happen last time is I blended it up a little too high. So I'm going to try and keep it with small brushes. So I'm going to use my Sigma Shader Crease Brush E47. So I was just keeping this to the outer corner and taking it to like, I guess like the outer third-ish. And I am using the same brush to kind of blend out that edge. I don't want to take a bigger brush and have it go up higher like I said, so. And what I really like about Melts Mattes is when you put them down, like they kind of create their own gradient, if that makes sense. Like you can see how this just blended on its own and has like that deeper shade. Okay, so now we're going to take the same brush and we're going to go in on the inner corner. And it's okay if we get a little messy on the inner corner because we're going to put like a eyeshadow primer down and cut that crease in the middle. And I'm purposefully leaving a gap. I don't actually want these to connect in the middle. So we also want to go in with Lost Souls. I'm going to take basically another lip brush. This is the Sosu X Kaylee SK07 brush. It's shaped like a lip brush, but I'm going to go in with the shade Lost Souls to deepen up our purple a little bit. Back in, but not as far. This eye just isn't cooperating, so whatever. Okay, now we're going to deepen it up even further with the black shade Charman from the Waiting Room palette. And I'm trying to decide what brush I want to use. Oh, this is a little itty bitty baby brush. This is a BH Cosmetics number 6 brush. Super tiny, so we can keep that Charman, that black, to exactly where we want it. Okay, and we're putting it on same spots, inner, outer corners, but not as far as the purple, so just creating it like darker to lighter, essentially. I'm going to go back in with the darker purple from the Recently Deceased palette, the Lost Souls color, and we're going to go right over that black. And again, using that Sigma Shader Crease Brush to blend everything together with no extra pigment. Okay, do you see how, I just love how easy their mattes blend. And we know this side's not gonna blend the way that I want it to, but we'll do our best. Like, other than that gap, it creates a nice gradient, but for some reason my skin hates me. I'm going to use an eyeshadow primer, but because I want to do, what we're going to put in the middle is the shade Juno, which is like more of like a sheer sparkly shade, so I want it to be tinted. So I'm going to use my NARS tinted eyeshadow primer. I'm just dabbing that in the middle and looking up. But actually, I guess that I'm going to have this go up higher. Side. And then I'm going to take my Sigma cut crease brush. Even though this is more shaped for like this type of cut crease, we're still going to use it to tap and blend this out. That's the look we're going for. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. For the shade Juno, I'm just gonna put it on my finger and push like that, and then I'm gonna switch to another finger and just kind of distribute those sparkles more. But I'm not going, like, I just want that sparkle. I don't really want the color, like the opacity or anything. We just want a distribution of sparkles. So now we're gonna just kind of blend the purple a little bit more. So we're going back in with that shader crease brush, the E47 from Sigma, in the lightest purple shade, Bio Exorcist. And I'm just gonna lightly blend that. So our lines aren't quite as harsh. Now we're gonna go in with the pigment paint, which I'm also kind of just debating. I didn't use the Afterlife gel liner last time. I only used the pigment paint in Utterly Alone. But I kind of think I want to bring the Afterlife into this too. So we'll start with Utterly Alone and then figure out what we're gonna do. So this is a BH Cosmetics number 10 brush. It's just a little tiny pencil brush. And I'm picking up the pigment paint into a lid. Just twirling my brush in there. So now we're going to clean up underneath. So I might regret this, but I am going to use the Afterlife shade. I didn't do this when I did this look the first time, but I'm feeling frisky. Okay, I'm doing the same thing where I put it in the lid and just twirling that brush. And I'm using the same brush, but I cleaned it off. Okay, so I did see that this shade is described as intentionally sheer, and the 2 times I've used it, I have tried to put it over like this, either this dark purple or the dark like black gray, and it hasn't been, kind of gets it cracks a little bit after you layer it a couple of times, but maybe if I did, I wouldn't have as hard of a time if I did it not over such dark shades. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this one off and go back into the purple one to just cover up this mess we made. Okay, I do like what that added to the look overall. So now I'm gonna go do my base and then we'll come back for it. So I did some stuff off camera. I decided to take the shade Neurotic and put that in my inner corner, and then I went over the gel liner Afterlife with that shade as well, just to kind of balance it out. And then I used the ColourPop lip liner in Bossy. This is definitely more of a pinky red than the lipstick in Miss Argentina, but it was close enough for our purposes. So I also did bronzer, blush, etc. So now we're gonna go in on the lower lash line, and I am going to take this shade Lost Souls on that same Sosu X Kaylee brush. Oh, and I forgot to put a gel liner. I'm gonna try this Ulta Beauty automatic eyeliner in matte purple. Okay, this doesn't really stick to the waterline, but that's good enough. So now I want to take a slightly fluffier brush like a smudger brush with no product on it, and just kind of smudge this down. I'm gonna do my lashes off camera and then I'm gonna come back. My phone battery is almost dead, so I'm gonna have to rush through my outro. Here she is, the final look. What do you guys think? Which look was your favorite? If you haven't already commented which look you like the best down below, please do so now. That would be great. If you could also give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I will go over my review of the entire Melt Beetlejuice collection in my next video when I do the swatch comparisons of the palettes. Overall, I have a good feel of which products I like, which ones are okay. I don't hate any products, so overall it'll be a positive review, but I really want to compare the eyeshadow palettes to the other Melt palettes I have to see if the palettes were like really necessary, but overall I do like them. So same great quality that you always get with Melt, but yeah, I'll talk about that more in the next video. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this one and you have a great rest of your day. Bye.